guitar.
Oh no.
Hand me the guitar now.
I'm trying to find an intro song. Fuck this bullshit. Let's get to the actual podcast. We actually have an intro song, but it's on a shitty computer. That doesn't even allow you to see the fucking files.
I thought
Which
you
is
didn't
great.
unmute him then.
Why would I have not unmuted him? Just like myself, like, hey, great, yes. It's the
Oh,
Me
you're wrong
Podcast. Welcome, loudmouths of the internet, to the Loathsome Loudmouths Podcast. With today's honorary loudmouths. Well, why do I always say
Why is it
today's?
honorary? Honor.
Why? Yeah, why honorary?
Sorry, no, wrong word.
I don't know.
Loudmouths. Why do you say loudmouth instead of loudmouth?
I don't know. Fuck.
Are you uneducated?
Are you uneducated?
Yes, actually, because the British education system goes suck a massive cock.
It probably
Specifically
already
your
does.
cock. I don't know why your cock.
Why? I don't want the entire British educational system to come and suck my cock. But by that time, my cock will become so saggy and soggy that it would just basically be like a fucking puddle of drool. Like it will look like a snail by that time. Oh, by the way, don't I need headphones?
Yeah.
Oh, there they are. That's a good. Because now people are gonna hear you double.
Double?
Yeah.
I can't even hear myself double.
Double D, double die.
Yes, I like double D's. Everyone does.
I've got triple D's.
You got triple D's? You don't have two boobs. You're bullshitting me. You only have two boobs.
Sorry, I
Is it the new YOLO? What's that? Yotb.
Oh, shit.
Jotb. Anyway.
Why the hell is there in the chat on the live stream something, but not in the actual chat?
What?
I know the actual chat is empty for me, but apparently there's something in the chat.
Yeah, I think it's just because the first thing like gets cut out a bit.
Come to Roseby. Sorry, Shombo. Come this way.
What do you mean the first thing gets cut out a bit?
Disney! Yes. Anyway, with today's honorary loudmouth, Metal of Age, and Trolombo. Why do I always say today's honorary loudmouth?
I thought this was already.
Yeah.
I thought we already talked about this. You're already unmuted because I heard it in the actual live stream.
Yeah, but the fact that I said today's and it's always us just kind of sounds a bit stupid. Anyway, let's get going with this podcast and let's start with the thing we always start with, which is our little known fact, which should kind of appear. Well, now let's see, and let's see what it says. Today's little known fact is the motherfucking sorcerer in Fantasia, you know that Disney movie, is called Yensid. Which may ring a bell if you read that fucking shit backwards.
I can't believe you didn't know that.
I can't read it yet.
Okay.
So I don't think... I'm not even sure if I've ever seen the movie.
Fantasia?
Yeah.
Did I actually put the Kingdom Hearts version of the... Did I find the Kingdom
Yeah,
Hearts
you put the Kingdom Hearts version.
Lol.
Bravo.
Yeah, I mean...
Kingdom Hearts is my favourite subject. I love you so much for doing that.
Yeah? Really?
Not really.
No? Why was that sarcasm there? Like, come on. Can you read it now?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you see what it spells?
Yeah. Disney.
I put at the bottom for people who are really slow and stupid. You know, the people who watch this show. No, I'm joking. Obviously, you have to be very intelligent to watch
You
this
actually
show.
had to say it and then say it backwards.
No. No. I just didn't know what you were talking about. Like,
What the fuck? What do you mean? When you say it out loud, it's not as obvious as when you just read it.
no.
Just
And
see
even
the
because
letters.
it's like fully split as well. I mean, no,
It's just it's more obvious when you just see it, see the words, see the name, not when you hear it. What?
Yeah. Hey Perry, are you really sure you want to have your Minnie Mouse ears on my sweaty head?
No, you can take them off. I just wanted to put them on at the beginning of the podcast.
Yeah. Anyway, The reason why we're talking about Disney and made a Disney episode is because we basically went to Disneyland in Paris.
I fucking hate it. I'm
Yes.
joking.
I mean, there is probably some truth to that. You probably hated the
I
fact
hate
of
it 'cause
walking.
the walking and standing in queues.
Yeah, well, everyone hates standing in queues, but
And
that's...
that annoying crying kid who's like was crying on the ground.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and his grandfather kept pushing him
But-
forward.
And when we were in the
Picked him up
queues,
and then dropped him again.
there was also always an annoying crying kid
was
who
this-
always
this was
complains
orange
about
before, right?
standing up for too long and walking for too much.
So,
Yeah, I think that stupid kid's name was Barry.
Okay.
Yeah,
This one was orange before, right?
yeah.
Because it's seeping through.
Ah, that's weird.
Yeah, I can see orange.
You can see orange?
Yeah.
Wow, then there's something wrong with your eyes if you can see orange. Anyway, you can see orange. Everyone can see orange. Apart from people who can't see red, I guess. They probably can't see orange either. So yeah. That was a stupid joke. Anyway, moving on from stupid jokes, because Perry made me make a stupid joke. I mean, let's just basically start with talking about Disneyland, the trip itself as well. I mean, when we talk about stuff, there's obviously things that are annoying, things that are good. One of the things that I found annoying is that there were just too many rides and stuff that were under maintenance at this moment. And that started in May already. There were apparently, because another reason that we wanted to go like later on in the year, during summer as well, was because there were so many rides under maintenance. But I feel like there should probably be a time when there's less kids around, or just nobody who has to go to school around, so you could probably have better queues, like shorter queues. So I think this wasn't the best time to go generally to begin with, because to be honest, I could have put my vacation on other days. Like I could have put it doesn't need to be in the month of July and or August or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But putting it at the end of June, it's like, oh, school's beginning. Fuck, kids are off and they can just come to Disneyland as well, and to some degree be fucking annoying. Because there were so many crying kids, you would think like they're going to Disneyland, they're seeing the wonderful magical things. No, they're fucking crying the entire time. Fucking hell. It's just a thing when it's like, I guess it's because it's the parents, and the parents are like, yeah, when it's your own kids, you're like, they're less annoying to you because it's your kids and you love them. Like, you love them to some degree. I wouldn't say unconditionally, because if your kid becomes a rapist or something later on in life, you probably wouldn't love them anymore. Well, or at least not to the same degree. But
Mm-hmm.
to some point, you could say that they love them unconditionally. So if a kid starts crying and acting annoying, or if it's just running around and acting annoying, or if it's running into people and acting annoying, then as a parent you would be like, oh yeah. But if it's like somebody else's kid, you would probably get annoyed by it as well. It's like, to some degree, it's kind of hypocritical, but that's just the way it goes, I think. Because it's your
The
own
way
kids,
you
you're like,
do.
oh, yeah. And there were those fucking parents that just had, they were like queues, and they had their kids run around even. Like, there were kids that were like on the next line of the queue and then still walking around. You were like, what the fuck are they even doing? Stay there. Fucking hell. But then again, to some degree, you could understand the kids, because queues are fucking annoying to begin with as well. And that was the main problem here.
Queues.
I mean, a lot of the times we just walked around and looked for stuff to do because we didn't want to even start queuing because of 90-minute waits and shit. I know there's people like, oh, 90 minutes waits, blah, 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 because they're in fucking America. And I've seen, like, stupid shit about people waiting 3 hours in line for some shit. But let me tell you one thing. That's fucking stupid. Why would you wait in line for 3 hours for something? I would rather
You
pay...
won't be able to do much else after that anyway.
See, I'd rather pay like 4 times the price of admission if there were like 4 times less people.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest about that. So, but then again, I think it probably benefits some park to have that many people, because you can go on less rides, and then you have to go multiple days, and you have to stay in a hotel, because let's face it, if there was no lines, Disneyland Paris is pretty big, but if there were no fucking lines, you could do everything in one day.
Yeah.
If you leave early enough, you could do everything in one day if there were no lines. So basically what you're doing most of the time is waiting in line. And then getting off a ride enough night, and you need to find a toilet or some shit. Because you waited in lines for too long, and now you need the toilet.
And luckily there weren't many lines at the toilet.
Yeah, and some rides were so fun that you had like you wanted to do them again, but then you can't because you don't have time, and then you would have to wait in line again for so long.
Yeah.
And most of the times the lines are just like boring places, and they don't do anything. They try to do some things, I would say, because the Crashes coaster or Crushes coaster. What did I say? Why did I say Crash? I had to think of Crash Bandicoot. The like Crushes coaster, like the fucking fast turtle
Yeah.
from Finding Nemo. The roller coaster that they had themed to that turtle was the roller coaster itself was pretty cool, but in the queues there was apparently they gave you free Wi-Fi in the queue and you could play a game. We didn't do that, but I mean that could have killed some time.
Oh no, wait. We said none of us had our phones.
Yeah.
You had your phone on you.
Yeah. For that ride? No.
Yeah, you did.
Oh yeah.
Because you got off after and...
We literally got out and we were
Oh,
talking to
yeah.
your mum, and then you picked your phone out of your pocket.
I kept my phone in my pocket because I knew that ride wasn't going to have a loop in it or anything. So
Yeah,
I
but
like,
that doesn't mean much to me. It's like the looping, it's the speed that's more.
yeah, maybe.
Mm.
But it was like in one of those like in one of my knee pockets, the one that like even if you're upside down it wouldn't really fall out of, but I just don't trust it with the fucking loopings. I don't know why. Even though it makes no sense because the loopings go so fast that if there's something in your pocket it would just stay on. Even if you're in the thing with the loopings where a lot of them were like smaller loopings, and if you go through them at such a high speed, you basically don't even move upwards. You just stay put because it's like, whoa, and you're through it. So yeah. But if you talk about some of the coasters that we've been on, talking about those queues, we have to say that the queues were they tried to incorporate something to do during those queues in at least two of the rides, but the other ones didn't do shit. But I think the Crushes coaster had the thing with where you could play the apparently Crushes game or some shit, which if you had a half-hour wait or something, would be fine. But I guess it's probably a simple mobile game that you can't really play for an hour without getting like, fuck, I need to do something else. So yeah, they tried to do something with that, and then you had the Rock and Roller Coaster, which had the first was just an outside bed because well there was a bit of a queue. It wasn't too bad. It was like what was it, 40 minutes, 45 there,
Yeah, something like that.
which is like that's the highest we'll normally go. But since the Crushes coaster was like a new one, and it had that like and it sounded cool because the cart itself would spin as well, or at
Mhm.
least the bit you're on would spin while you're going through the roller coaster. It just sounded cool, and we wanted to try that, even though there was an hour wait. A lot of the time it was 90 minutes, which is just too much, even if it's fucking brand spanking new. But yeah, I don't have that amount of patience to just stand around. If you could at least sit on a fucking chair that moves you forward until you're at the thing, that it would have at least been something. But just standing around, it's just like it rapes the fucking soles of your feet. It's like the devil's fucking penis is just coming out of the floor, just raping your feet constantly. And you're standing around, and it's so fucking boring. And there's like stupid kids around, so yeah, queuing is horrible. Just shit. If some theme park finds a way to deal with queuing in a good way, that would be great. I mean, we had a fast pass type option where you could come back, but the way those fast pass type things worked there was, I felt it was still kind of shit, because okay, you had a shorter queue, and that was very good. but you had to basically come back to the roller coaster at like a dedicated time. So it was like, hey, yeah, you have to plan your day in advance. Here, plan where you're going to eat. Plan this. That's not why you go on a holiday. That doesn't seem to be that that just goes against what an amusement park should be. Planning your full day, planning what you're gonna do, planning what you're gonna eat, planning which roller coaster you're gonna go on at what time. That's not what a fucking amusement park should be. An amusement park should be about amusement, and you should be able to have fun. And I think these parks just want to make too much money by letting in too many people at the same fucking time. Should be a lower limit of people. But then again, they would make less money on their overpriced drinks and shit. Here's a can of cola. It fucking costs €3 instead of like the fucking 70 cents that you could get it at normally from like fucking machines. Why? Because it's experience marketing. Because you pay more for it. Not because it costs them more to get it to Disneyland, but just because you're drinking it in the environment of Disneyland, which is bullshit. It doesn't make the cola taste better. The fucking queuing makes the cola taste better because you're fucking thirsty after standing around for an hour straight or some shit. So yeah, that makes sense. But here's the thing. Yeah, what?
Is it a big butt?
Yeah, it's a very big butt. I was saying, the park itself is actually amazing. There's just too many people there. It's the same as when we went to Tenerife in the big in the what was it, the world's biggest water park that they basically had there.
Oh my god.
The park itself would have been like what was great, and it would have been amazing with less people there. Same thing here. It's just there's always too many fucking people, and people are annoying, and people are stupid. People are just definitely in groups. When you see people in groups, they become even dumber and more stupid. It's like they become Neanderthals again, and they're just walking around and doing stupid shit and getting in the way constantly. And they always, like, people have this stupid thing that they do, that they stop at the worst places ever. Like when you're walking behind someone and it's like, oh, I'm in the door. I'm in the door frame now. Let's stop now to see if my friends are still behind me. I mean, I could have walked outside of the door and then just peered back into the door when I was around the corner so everyone else could pass. But no, I have to do this in the middle of the door. And then, like, also stand still while I do this. Because I can't look behind me and walk at the same time because I'm fucking stupid. People are fucking stupid. That's basically what I'm saying. So if you get too many people together, you get the stupidness level just becomes too big, and it just becomes like, it becomes just like you're in some fucking, I don't know. It's just horrible. Just too much stupid to handle. They say you never go full retard, but people in fucking amusement parks, they just constantly go full retard. Which is basically what it is. I'm just glad there's not like drunk people around, because that would make it even worse. Can you imagine so many people and there's like fucking drunks in between them? That would be fucking unbearable. Anyway, but if we have to be honest about the rides themselves, the ones that we went on were awesome, right?
Yep.
And most of them were awesome in their own way. They're all different enough. I mean, we didn't go into the Space Mountain, but a lot of people say that like the Space Mountain, or what is called the hyperspace thing now, because it's Star Wars themed, even though nothing outside of it still looks like it's Star Wars themed. It still looks like the old Space Mountain on the outside. They didn't do anything to it to make it look like something out of Star Wars. But yeah, anyway, we didn't go in there because it also, from what I've heard, it's somewhat similar to the Rock and Roller Coaster, but it's like bigger but a bit slower, I guess, because the Rock and Roller Coaster had the fastest speed, because it went up to 90 kilometers an hour. Like, all of a sudden you were just waiting and it was like but that was the ride that did, to me, it did queuing the best. At first it was just a boring queue, but then you went into what looked like the area of a record label with their own like music studio in there. So you went in there, you saw a bit of their you saw the big guitars and their entrance, because it looked like they had like a little desk there where there would be like a receptionist or something.
Yeah.
And you had their logo and shit, and then you go in, and around the corner, while you're queuing in like a smaller room where it's like one of those zigzag queues where you keep going through. You could see like rock and roll memorabilia on the side, and you could read like from whose vest that was, or guitar, or cymbals and shit. So, and there were some like actual cool things there. The things in the hallway were kind of weird at the beginning because we saw like a guitar signed by BB King and stuff, but it was like a cheap brand guitar, so it was like, this is kind of weird. They just have like cheaper brand guitars, and they were like had names of guitarists under them that didn't really seem to fit with the guitar, but that was just a nitpick, I guess. And then after that, you would be like, they would let you into like a hallway that leads up to the, which would be the main rehearsing room, like or basically going into the control room as well, because you were basically standing where the band would like record, and then you could see like the members of Aerosmith there in the video. They were talking like they were at the place where the people would be that were turning the knobs and stuff. And yeah, then they explained some stuff about the roller coaster, and you could have a bit of there was a bit of an anticipation build up by that as well, because you got a bit hyped, and they showed like a part of it, and then when you went in, there was like sound tests and stuff going on in the actual room where the roller coaster itself starts off, and you could see like sound equipment with like a little bit of an old built-in like what was it, like one of those displays basically that you would use for security purposes a lot of the time, like the really small square ones, and you could see it in black and white. You could see them starting off, which you could also see if you looked at the card itself around the corner, and you could see like a bit of the roller coaster a bit further, so that helped hype up the roller coaster a bit. Then it starts off slowly, it drives you around the corner, and there's like more sound check stuff going on that you could hear while you were queuing, and then it's like at one point they're like, okay, 3, 2, 1, and then you blast off, you go into the looping, you get spun around all the way. You get to hear some Aerosmith songs along the way that are like basically they're the songs that you know, if you know Aerosmith, and they kind of fit there as well. It was pretty funny, and it was fun, and it was fast. And about you could say the same thing about the other coasters. They were just, most of the things we did were fun there. Most of the attractions we did were fun. Like even the things that were like were not necessarily more towards like an older group or something, because we did the Ratatouille ride, which was like where you had like 3D glasses on, so, and you were on like some weird cart that moved a bit, but it looked like you were moving a hell of a lot because you saw a lot of stuff happening on screen in 3D. So it looked like you were actually in like a really heavy roller coaster where your body was doing actual minimal movement. So yeah, that was definitely fun as well. And then we saw some shows.
That we got on it at the time we did, because I think it was like
yeah, after that.
After we got off of it, someone threw up.
Yeah, someone threw up or something because it was temporarily closed or whatever. So temporarily it wasn't being serviced. So yeah, you have to say that it is fun, and I think even the rides that we missed would probably have been worth trying out, definitely. But it's just the waiting times. So yeah, that's a bit about the Disney trip itself.
Like the Big Thunder Mountain.
Yeah, and I think our stepdad like warned us in advance. He was like, "Yeah, you're gonna be eating hamburgers all the time," but that was a bit of an overstatement. Even if you don't order food, because you could probably eat some more fancy stuff if you order in advance. If you're like, "Hey, I want to make a reservation at that time, that day," so then you could probably have a big variety of food. But even the way we did it, like with just not basically making appointments for food or anything and just seeing what we can find, we basically ate pretty well as well, because we just had a sandwich the first day because we couldn't have a breakfast. The other 2 days we had the breakfast, which was definitely good in that New York hotel. I liked the breakfast. It wasn't as good as in Tenerife, but it was definitely good. And yeah, apart from that, we did have McDonald's once, so yeah, there's some truth to the burgers. And then we had Mexican twice basically as well, which wasn't really planned, but hey.
Yeah.
Well, we could have gotten the shrimp, fucking noodles
The
and
shrimp
shit.
fucking noodles.
The shrimp fucking noodles, yeah. And we could have gotten.
You insert the noodles up to the shrimp's ass and then you eat them.
Yeah, definitely. That's how it definitely works.
Those are
Anyway.
shrimp fucking. But
Yeah.
you know what I decided to look up because
Yeah.
I was curious,
Mhm.
like accidents in Disney in Paris.
Mhm. I think
And,
the rock and roller coaster got stuck once upside down.
Oh no, it's not those kind of incidents. I think.
You mean like actual like derailing? Of...
Yeah, shit like that.
Fuck.
And there is something on the rock and roller coaster.
Damn.
On June 26, 2007, a 14-year-old guest lost consciousness on rock and roller coaster and died.
Okay.
The paramedics attempted to revive her. She was dead before the ambulance arrived. A ride inspection showed no mechanical problems. But I've also seen, like years ago, also something, but I think that it was also the rock and roller coaster, but I think they also have it in
America?
America then, somewhere.
Yeah, there's an American version, which has a different story, but it's also the rock and roller coaster featuring Aerosmith.
Yeah, but I know that there also someone died on it from a heart attack or something.
Yeah, the girl you said, since that there's no mechanical
Someone.
failures or shit, she probably also died because something relating
Yeah.
high blood pressure or something like a heart attack.
Wanna
So,
hear
yeah.
something weird?
What?
On October 6, 2010, a 53-year-old cast member, subcontracted to Disney, became trapped underneath a boat on It's a Small World when the ride was inadvertently switched on while it was being cleaned.
Oh fuck. That's a horrible way to die. You're just like there and you're stuck and you're drowning and it's like it's a small world after all.
That sounds horrible.
No, he looked up some shit about accidents, and there was a guy that was like a maintenance worker.
Oh
He
yeah.
got stuck and drowned or something, I guess.
I don't know, he was taken to the hospital
he
where
got
he later
trapped?
died.
Oh, he died at the hospital. Maybe water in his lungs already. I don't know.
Oh, he
Or
was
yeah,
just underneath the boat, wasn't he?
yeah,
A worker got trapped between these rotating walls.
yeah. That's about the woman. Yeah.
The worker who
Oh, there's-
like the member
Well,
of
that's-
staff at the thing, and she.
Apparently, that's not an incident that happened in Paris then.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That was not the incident. That was the incident about the girl that you read about the things Disney. Didn't you ever see the video about the things Disney doesn't want you to know or something, that type
Yeah.
of shit? That was that video about the was she like a woman that worked there as a student job or something. Guess that what's happened. But then again, I think at Disney there's a lot of student workers, and I'm not saying that because I think there's a lot of students that want to particularly work at Disney because they're students, but I think there's a lot of student workers because the fucking workers are crap. They're slow as fuck. What the fuck are they doing? Or is it just France? Does France have like a different mentality than over here in Belgium? Are they like more like calm? So because
Yeah. Maybe they're like, I'll get you your bottle of cola in about
Yes, that's
5
right.
minutes. Just give
yeah,
me.
because here's the thing, like what happened is like there was a grape stand as well, and they were making
A
yes,
gra-
Sperry.
I understood that you said grape.
Want a Malteser?
Anyone want the Malteser? It's basically all joined together because of the heat.
I
That's
understood that you said there was a
That's what
grape
it's judged,
stand
pick it up.
instead of.
I smashed a couple of them off.
yeah. Anyway, so they were making the fucking grapes for some people that were there, and they was like, yeah, I want some fucking grapes with pancakes or whatever you want to call them. But then if Americans hear it like pancakes, they probably think about the thick, fluffy shit they call pancakes. But I mean like the
Americans don't know what pancakes are, so.
yeah. They make those fat, fluffy shits and they put like blueberries on them and shit.
It is very
Yeah.
fluffy, I will say that.
Well, not really fluffy. Like
They are, when you try to pick them up, they just break.
what? That's not. That's crumb. That's not. Something fluffy doesn't break like that. That's just if it's crumbly and dry.
No, it wasn't dry at all.
That's weird, Then they must have been
Doesn't
soggy. Anyway, when they were making those fucking grapes, you would think like, oh, they come back and they ask what you want to drink. No, it's like the guy finishes up the fucking grapes, then he comes back to the fucking person that ordered them and is like, oh, what do you want to drink? And then he gets the fucking drinks. Like normally what you would do is like you go, it's like, what do you want? And it's basically not like that. Obviously, it's like, what the fuck do you want, bitch? And then they go like, yes, I want 2 grapes and a bottle of cola and a bottle of cola zero. And it's like, okay. And then what you do is you start making the fucking grapes, you put the drinks, and then you ask the next person what they want while the fucking grapes are going. And then that person's like, I want cola. Then you're like, okay, then I can just grab a cola, and this guy can already pay and fuck off, so that the line shrinks easier. But like we were like 4th in the line or something, and it felt like 20 people had passed by the time we got there. That's how fucking slow it went for me. I totally didn't get that. And it was the same in the fucking stores when you wanted to buy something. They were like chatting with people way too much. It was like, yes, I know this is fucking Disneyland, and you want to treat people like, hey, here, we're in Disneyland. This is fun, right? Yes, but you know what's also fun? Not having to stand in line, because you know what's not fun? Standing in fucking queues, which you constantly have to do while you want to get on a ride. So why the fuck would you want to stand in a queue when you want to buy something? Like, anyone put 2 and 2 together? Quick service at fucking concession stands makes so much sense, and at stores, because why would you want to make more time standing around there? Because you already waste so much time standing around in those fucking amusement parks. Anyway, dude, now the big question. To top it basically off, because I think we need to move on, because we can't keep talking about Disneyland Paris and the trip. I mean, for me, it was definitely worth it. Don't get me wrong, because there was things like the parade was very cool to see. It was very nice how they made those floats. I especially loved like the Maleficent float, where it was like the dragon, the steampunk dragon with like the
Spinning wheel.
yeah, the spinning wheel which was like made. It looked like it was made with like thorns on it and stuff.
Yeah, it was like covered in
That was very cool, and there wasn't anyone on that card actually. That was just basically that was an empty float.
For you to show it.
Yeah, no, I can't really show it like here.
Yeah, because I got a really good picture of the.
Yeah, we could have showed it if we got the pictures off of the camera first. Then we could have did a slideshow or something like that.
But
Yeah,
then I would have to fix
that thing was amazing, and there was a bit of a steampunk theme going on with this one for some reason, because the Mickey Mouse float, the one that had Mickey and Goofy and Minnie on it, they were basically had like steampunk goggles and shit and shoes. No,
Goggle.
they had like the and Goofy with the steampunk boots. So yeah, it was cool to see, and we took some pictures and enjoyed it. There was like music
pictures?
during it, which was like overly sugary though. It was like overly sugary sweet, the music, but hey, it's Disney, so it makes sense. And on the same level, it's like those things that you would like easily underestimate or be like, those are just extra things that people do. I think the parade is definitely worth it to get there in time and check it out. I don't know if you need to check it again, because I doubt that with all the money they put into the floats that you're gonna see 2 different parades if you go 2 days in a row. So if you go for multiple days, I think like once would be good. But yeah, the second thing would be the fucking illuminations thing at the end.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Which was beautiful. It was like a water, fireworks, pyro, technical, it was light show, basically. It had all of those things.
Yeah. Light, water.
Yeah, it was basically Avatar. There was just no Earth. No Earth. It's a fucking joke. Anyway, so what was amazing about it? It just started off really like soft. Like it started off really simply but amazing immediately, because you had the castle, which was Perry.
Which
You know
was
that
Perry?
the Disneylands
Perry
have
was the
like
castle?
different Disneylands have different castles.
Yeah.
The one in Paris is
The one in Paris is Sleeping Beauty's castle.
Sleeping Beauty's castle. Yeah.
One of them in America is Cinderella's castle.
Yeah.
Um.
So yeah, what I wanted to say is Sleeping Beauty's castle. They basically projected like coloring on it, so it turned from the real Disney one you saw there into almost like a real life version of the drawn castle itself, just by changing the lights, by having that projected on it, and it did look amazing, didn't it? I would say that some of the things that they projected on there didn't really fit with the castle's shape and stuff. So yeah, I mean that's a bit of a downer there, but fuck that. That wasn't really important because there was like amazing firework going on at the same time. It was like fucking fireballs being shot, fireworks on the castle itself, fireworks in the sky, those twisty firework things. Like what are they called? Yeah, and then you had like water servos that like shot water like fucking meters into the sky, like and the water spinning. Even projections on the water and stuff sometimes. Yeah, there was so much shit happening. And it went through like a bit of like different Disney things. There wasn't anything Marvel projected in there, but they did use Star Wars. So I think that.
What was Marvel?
No. Did you see anything Marvel? I didn't.
Not in the projection, no.
No. There's nothing Marvel in the projection.
Sorry, Obsidian Cola.
I mean, I gotta say one thing as you can see my Funko collection behind me, and there's more, definitely way more in this room. One downside to the, well, it's the only European. I think it may count for like the resort in Japan as well, in Tokyo, because I think like the Funkos. Yeah, I think the Funkos and the Funkos in general, and then definitely the exclusive Funkos. You can't find them outside of the American Disneylands or Disney Worlds. Yeah, American branches. They don't even have any Funkos in any of the stores here in Disneyland Paris, which was a bit of a bummer because one downside to the stores was there were so fucking many of them, but at one point they did have too much of the same stuff. To be honest.
The ears that I got, in the end, we only found those in one store.
Yeah, I mean the Minnie Mouse ears that you could get, like the headband with the Mickey Mouse ears. I think every store had a bit of a different variety on them because they had the eat me, drink me ones in the toy store.
I know, we already saw it at the last minute after I bought those ears, and I was like...
Yeah. They had a few different variations on them. So yeah.
The only good thing about this mouses that I got was that they are, like you can only get them in Paris.
Yeah, they were like the Paris ones apparently. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, let me say, is it worth it? I would say definitely but I would, if you want to go, I feel like it would be better to not go as like unprepared as us and just be like, and just check the times when you go. Try to go when there's not that many school children, when there's no school vacations or something.
Plan like where you want to eat. Breakfast. Just go for breakfast at the hotel.
I mean, would all hotels have? They would probably have it. They all have a restaurant, so they would all have a breakfast. So,
the one we were in had two.
Yeah, and the one that we were in, like the New York hotel, would get a renovation somewhere in the future, from what I heard as well.
Later this month, I believe.
Yeah.
It's gonna be closed for renovation.
Wow. Wait, during the summer period, the hotel's gonna be closed for renovation?
I believe, yeah.
Holy shit, that just seems like a dumb plan.
I can find out.
But yeah, anyway. So yeah, let's move away from our trip because I don't think anyone cares, but nobody's watching, so it doesn't fucking matter. Anyway, we'll do some more stuff here before we go to some of the conspiracy crap, because I think I think I have something before we go to the conspiracy. Uh, I have a new segment that we may do somewhere in the future. Uh, I'm warning people who are watching this. The image, this, looks stupid as fuck. I just made it up really quickly. I'm gonna make a better looking version of the fucking intro screen to this segment. It's called Fact or Fucked. Basically meaning that there's facts and there's bullshit. It's similar to headline like Hogwash Headline Hunt, but it has nothing to do with headlines. And it's not like a list where you can have to guess like, ooh, is it good or is this the right one, which is the fake one? No, now it's like one at a time. We're just gonna basically look at some facts about Disney or Walt Disney or Disneyland or Disney World, whatever, like everything that surrounds Disney. And it's just up to Metal to guess if it's correct or if it's booyah. What the fuck was I gonna say? Bouillabaisse? Bouillabaisse sauce? No, if it's bullshit.
I think it's bouillabaisse sauce.
It's bull balls. Bull balls, yes. Bull balls. That's a new thing. Instead of bullshit, bull balls. It's just like too much of a mouthful. It's like bull ball.
Don't forget your bull balls.
Anyway. Ooh. Closing from January.
Yeah, sorry, I got it wrong.
2019? That's still a
Read
while
it,
off.
read what they're doing to it.
Uh-huh. Oh.
I wish I got when it went then.
Yeah, so going back to the hotel for people who do care. So if you go to Disneyland Paris, after they're done with the renovations, the hotel, New York hotel, is going to be Marvel inspired apparently.
Marvel inspired, but it's only reopening a year later. In 2020.
Ouch. Yeah, that's
So if Trump doesn't fuck the world, go to Disneyland Paris.
yeah, if you want to come over, just come over. We're not really in Paris, but if you want to come over to Europe and you want to visit Disneyland Paris, I mean,
If
wait
you
till
want to
2020.
come over.
Then you can get to and maybe then they'll have fucking Funkos or something. Even Marvel inspired one in the hotel.
Oh, I just snapped myself.
Anyway, fact or fucked. Sully from Monsters Inc., who Perry wanted a picture with, but we didn't see the fucking time when he was gonna appear. So, yeah. Has more than 2.3 million individual hairs, which are all carefully animated. This explains why a single frame of the big blue fella took an average of 12 hours to produce. Now I'm imagining a crossover between Sully and Sheamus from WWE. It looks weird.
Why?
Because the big blue fella.
Oh. Seamus isn't blue.
Anyway, what do you think? Is it true?
I somehow think this is true, even though it would take a shitload of time.
Yes. Well, it is actually true. It's crazy, but it's true. Anyway, moving on to the next the next one.
Video?
It's still loading, so probably for you. So, okay, this one has to do with Walt Disney, more of it, and well, Walt Disney's ideals, and then Disney itself. Disney has never made a film that takes place between 1935 and the 1950s. This was written into Walt Disney's will, as he was an avid supporter of the Nazi Party and did not want them to see them defaced on the screen.
Well, I know people always said that he was like a supporter of the Nazis.
But do you think this is true? It takes a while, apparently.
Well, yeah, I'm thinking. Were there Disney movies made between that, like that took place between that time? But I don't know.
Really?
I don't know. I guess this is true.
No, it's bullshit. Don't you
Okay.
remember the Donald Duck one? where it was like in a Nazi camp, and he was working very hard, and he
Yeah.
had to make bombs and then Heil Hitler in between and shit. So then he woke up and it was like only a dream or some shit. That was basically making fun of Nazis. So yes, this is
Is that
bullshit.
making fun of Nazis?
So anyway, Bruce, the vegetarian great white shark of Finding Nemo, was
Oh, yeah.
named after the mechanical shark used in Jaws, which in turn was named after Steven Spielberg's lawyer. Ah, Jaws.
How the fuck would I know if that's true? I mean, I know the shark in Jaws was named Bruce.
well, there's a truth in there. Then definitely that's one thing, that it was named after the mechanical shark.
Yeah, but I
used
don't
in-
know if that one was named after Steven Spielberg's lawyer.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you that one. It was named after Steven Spielberg's lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's not directly the Disney one. So, yeah. Anyway, I don't even know. Can you imagine if the lawyer's actual name was Jaws? It was probably a nickname for the lawyer then. He's like, how you doing? I'm Jaws. He's just like a big mouth and shit.
When you say
Fucking hell.
Jaws, all I think is the Bond villain. Like with the sharp teeth.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that guy. Wasn't he also wearing a suit?
Yeah.
Yes. No, imagining
I've
that
never
guy.
seen that James Bond movie.
Me neither.
Is when I played the game with
Uh,
my brother.
Yeah,
We've
I've
always played Jaws.
I've seen a scene from it where he bites like through a bar or something
Oh,
because he has a
yeah.
metal teeth. Like, ah. So yeah. Anyway, that would be funny if that guy was Steven Spielberg's lawyer, like just a fucking muscular guy with metal teeth. Anyway. So, Man is in the Forest was a code used by animators to warn colleagues to get back to work when Walt Disney was coming down the hallway. Man in the Forest.
I don't know. Is that bullshit?
Nope, it's not. It was actually.
Yeah,
a thing.
but I don't know.
Yeah, I know you don't know, but you have to try and guess.
Well, there's nothing that would indicate if it can be right or wrong.
Yeah, it's harder than with the articles, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Because this is definitely like, fucking hell, it could definitely go either way.
yeah. Anyway, while 1,000,001 kids have lost their minds at Disney World, adults have misplaced an estimated 1.65 million pairs of sunglasses since 1971.
Just as
every year.
glasses.
Pairs of glasses. Oops, why did I say sunglasses? The park finds an average of 6,000 cell phones, 3,500 digital cameras, and 18,000 hats.
I thought the hats would be the highest.
So, yeah.
I don't.
No. Well, yeah, it does say that, Barry. It says every year the park
Oh.
finds an average of, and it's mostly hats, yes.
Wait, is it mostly hats?
Yes, 6,000,
Oh.
3,500.
That definitely seems really plausible.
Yeah,
I can't read.
because there's so many numbers in there. Yeah. So this one is a fact that we found on the internet.
We
So,
don't.
well, Perry found on the internet because she
Bitch.
helped me do some
Bitch,
preparations.
bitch, do not take away.
Yeah, I could have actually made it easier to say that there's 5 ones that are bullshit and 5 ones that are true. That would have actually made it somewhat easier. Then you could strategically play it and go for the ones that sound plausible.
Wait,
Well, I haven't really been counting anyway. So.
Yeah, but I didn't really say that, so if I did, you may have been counting and it may have helped you a bit. But yeah, this one is true, and it does seem the most plausible. It's the hardest one to make up, actually, because you would have to come up with numbers that seem realistic. I mean,
but still, how can you lose that many hats? But like glasses is the one that you miss, like you lose the most.
no. It's 1.65 million pairs of glasses since 1971.
Oh.
That's since then.
I was gonna say, if that would be
And the other one are annual losses of these things like cell phones, digital cameras,
That's like
and
every
hats.
year. How many people are dropping their glasses?
Yeah.
They're probably like dropping it in like the Ratatouille ride or the 3D Spider-Man. I thought it was 4D Spider-Man rides.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that.
Yeah, the
Where was
Ratatouille
that
ride
one?
was actually 4D as well because there were smells. The oranges that made you dizzy.
Oh
Yeah.
god, the oranges. Oh fuck it.
Okay.
I haven't even smelled that at all.
Anyway, um, The Little Mermaid is the only Disney movie to have a fully animated sex scene. The studio produced a PG bedroom scene between Prince Eric and the transformed Ursula.
Wait, really?
This was ultimately removed from the film, but can be seen in the special features of the Diamond Deluxe Director's Cut release in 2002.
I
The fuck-
believe it, but I'm gonna say bullshit.
Yeah, it was bullshit.
Oh, I say, if that was true, that'd be interesting. But the only thing I know about is like reading it, which was actually the guy's knees, apparently, which was the Pope's.
The guy's penis.
The
Like
guy's
it looked
penis,
like
but
it said it was a bony knee or something.
Yeah, it's his knees.
Yeah. It was it a bony knee or was it a boner? Who knows? Well, I guess we'll never find out because they can say what they want. It's like I didn't draw a penis. Oh, that's the thing with those type of
Well,
like.
in saying that, they did draw a penis in the Underwater Kingdom. On the what's
Well,
it called?
same shit there. They can say that they drew something that wasn't supposed to be a penis, but you can't really ever tell. Like if they don't want to say that it was a penis.
Look,
That's like with the that's like with the
the
Lion
imitation.
King with the flower thing.
Yeah, the
the-
SFX thing. Yeah.
No, it says sex.
Sex.
Not
Anyway. So yeah, the next one. Walt Disney was a serious homophobe, so much so that he disavowed his eldest son Waldo Disney because Walt believed him to be gay. That's why you never see a gay character in a Disney movie.
We haven't seen a gay character in a Disney movie.
Huh. Have you seen a gay character in a Disney movie?
I don't know.
See?
I feel like that there's a chance that we have.
I wonder where Walt Disney's son is now.
I think this is bullshit.
Yeah. Well, it's called Waldo Disney.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think of
Oh,
that.
I got it.
Yeah. I could have named him Wally as well. It would have been the same joke. But yeah, fuck
Where's
it.
Waldo?
Yeah. But let's be honest, like, where's Waldo or where's Wally, whatever you call him, he kind of looks pretty gay, doesn't he?
I just
He looks like a
know
gay
he's Harry
hipster,
Potter.
basically. A gay hipster without a mustache, because not all hipsters have mustaches, I guess.
He looks like Harry Potter.
Yes, maybe.
Who's Harry Potter's dad?
It's... Anyway, let's move on to the next one. The chandelier clock at the Sleeping Beauty Castle in Disneyland is set to the time Walt Disney died. Is it or isn't it? Is it or is it bullshit?
I want it to be true.
Fact or fiction?
Fact or friction? Friction? What is
I
it?
just want it to be true.
Yeah, but it isn't, sadly enough.
Oh.
Would have been pretty cool. Would have been a pretty cool nod.
Yeah,
But
but
it
it's
did-
only a random time.
Yeah. Anyway, so Disneyland is home to numerous feral cats, like, you know, the ones that go like. That was a very annoying sound. That sounded more like a witch having
I
an
didn't hear
orgasm.
that one at all.
While the park doesn't encourage them, neither does it boot them out, as they provide a nifty pest control service. I mean, I don't know if this is about Disneyland Paris. It probably isn't. It's probably about the one in Anaheim, California.
One of the two, I can't remember.
But it's Disneyland. The other one in Florida is not Disneyland. It's Disney World. So I'm being sassy.
There might be feral cats in Paris.
There's probably feral cats in Paris. Definitely. There's a lot of people in
Oh,
Paris. There's probably cats in Paris. There's probably feral cats in Paris. But are they in Disneyland Paris? That's the question. I didn't see them there.
I haven't seen a single one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, true.
It apparently is true because Perry found this on a website somewhere.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I also searched it up once. Like I heard it in a video.
Really?
Apparently they have cats running around the place, and they're actually very good at pest control.
Okay. Anyway, Cinderella's castle can be very easily dismantled if a hurricane is approaching.
That sounds really fun.
Wait, in which park is Cinderella's castle anyway?
I can't remember.
Because the one, Paris is Sleeping Beauty.
There's another Sleeping Beauty one as well.
Really?
Well, I didn't see a clock in Paris.
Also, why would there be? There's no clock on the Sleeping Beauty, and well, there. Huh?
In Paris.
Wait a moment.
Unless it was upstairs. Because we didn't
Yeah,
go
who
upstairs.
knows?
Let me have a look.
I am gonna say
Right.
that this tornado thing
Yeah.
is bullshit.
Yeah, it is because it took so much time apparently to build that fucking castle
18
that there's
months.
no way that they could dismantle it in time for a fucking hurricane or whatever. So this is definitely the shit of the bull.
The shit of the bull.
The shit of the bull.
Orlando.
Yay.
It's Orlando.
It's in Orlando.
So it's Disney World basically.
No, Paris is Disneyland.
Florida is Disney. What?
Yeah.
Which one is fucking Disney World then? I thought it was Florida because I had like fucking too much space in that place
Oh,
anyway.
no. Sorry. It's because the Japan one,
Yeah.
Disneyland, they also have a Cinderella castle.
Okay. That's confusing.
Yeah, Disneyland Resort has
And it,
Sleeping Beauty's castle too.
yeah. Anyway, let's go to well, Perry.
What?
She didn't put open all the links.
Yes, I did!
No. I'm gonna fix it now. Okay. Perry forgot something. Not really anything big.
How dare
Right,
she?
you didn't tell me you opened it this time.
Yeah. So anyway, it's time to basically show the shit that we have here.
Again.
Yes. The Redbubble store.
Again.
Yeah.
The Gaytriarchy store. Which you can get some nice shirts. Like, for example, the Loud, Gay, and Proud. If you are, well, loud, gay, and proud. Let's say that. Anyway, so we definitely have more than this.
You can
Yes.
also get a shirt if you're not loud, gay, and proud.
Yeah, if you want to, you can definitely get that if you're not loud, gay, and proud. If you just want to fool people, pretend you're gay, you can also wear it. Or if you just want to, I don't know, maybe if you just want to support gay rights or something, maybe that works. But it kind of sounds weird if you're not gay. And if you want to, if I'm supporting gay rights by wearing a shirt that says that I'm loud, gay, and proud. I don't know, it sounds pretty weird. We also have a new one this time. We have the National Pornographic. Yes. I didn't put the channel behind it because they don't put the channel behind it in the fucking logo anyway. It shows like the nice the arch logo thing, like the nice what is it, like the type of rectangle thing. But I put it in 3D so you can see it has some depth. And then there's also like a nice little fucking thing going in, like moving towards it, like it's going into it. It's supposed to simulate the act of making the sex. But yeah, it's there. Yeah,
Making the sex.
yeah, that's how you make the sex. You don't know how to make the sex.
Why is that not a shirt yet?
Making the sex.
Yeah.
What would this shirt actually say? Do you want to make what would it say? Do you want to make it the sex? I mean that would I don't know how else to. Would it just be make it the sex? Would that just be the shirt?
I guess.
Make the sex question mark? Yeah, okay, that could work. So we have a new version of the doggy style shirt because there's this grayish. There's this dog that's like it has a gray color that has like a bit of a blue tinge to it. And I like the color of that dog, so I was like, yeah, let's take a picture of that dog and I just recolor this doggy style shirt. Which gave me the idea that I was gonna try and make a few different dog breeds, make a few different shirts for different dog breeds. For example, I was thinking about making a Dalmatian as well, which would be funny because it had like the black and white dots on it. I don't know how to do that with the text though, but because I think like the tags that are above it, like doggy and style, should then be fully black or something, and Dalmatian could be black and white. But I still have to think about that, and maybe potentially other type of dog breeds like a poodle or something. Just stuff that is definitely recognizable and looks different from this dog, because that will make the doggy style thing like a line of itself, basically. Just basically be separate. Anyway, then we also have that Twitter shirt, which definitely looks good. Come on, if you look at it, you can see the Twitter bird. It's ripped open. You can see its skull. You can see its a bit of its brain to some degree, I guess. You can see its ribs, and then it's like intestines to it, and then the fucking bones of the wing. It looks good.
The bones of the wing.
And it has this grungy look to it. It just looks very good.
For some reason, when I said that, I got reminded that it kind of sounds like the Lord of the Rings, the bone of the wings.
The bone of the wings. It sounds like a very bad. It sounds like somebody who doesn't know English trying to make a porn parody. The bone of the wings. It's basically angels getting fucked or something. I don't know. Fake news. That's also another shirt. It's in the actual. It's in the Gaytriarchy line because I kind of merged some of the things together. It has the Gaytriarchy symbol on it. It has fake news. It also rapes your eyes because there's like a weird perspective going on. Like the FA for fake is tilted this way, and the K and the E is tilted this way, and then you have news also tilted like it's going 4 ways. So it's basically the different perspectives are just fucking molesting your eye holes. That's so great. And if you're the one wearing it, you can just use it to molest other people's eye holes. That's even better. Also, some people like shoving bananas up their ass. I know this for a fact because apparently after I made this shirt and I looked on Redbubble and I looked up the word banana randomly, I saw that there was another shirt about I love bananas in my butt or something. It said something like that. It didn't look anything like my shirt, but it had this, like, it was for the same type of people. It was for the same crowd, basically. People who like having the sex with the banana. Or was it like sorry girls, I like banana or something. And there was another like shirt of a guy giving a blowjob to a banana. So yeah, there's definitely a crowd for this. Maybe the people watch this show.
Wow.
Maybe they feel a bit offended now. Anyway, pink umbrella, that's the thing. I'm not gonna open that one because it's not the most special one. We have the Graciously Gay shirt, which has like a nice circle on it with a nice gracious, like a nice looking font, and it has like a bow tie on it, like showing that you're graciously gay. Yeah, because people use fabulous too much, so let's make it graciously. Then we also have the Gaytriarchy shirt with like the Gaytriarchy logo just basically on it and nothing else. I may make a version of it, but if I figure out how to make a nice font for the Gaytriarchy to put that underneath it, so you could have either the logo itself for a shirt or a sticker or whatever, and then have the one with the text underneath it. Then we have #art, which is basically a nice and artful design. It basically has 2 cherries with like the branches still attached to it. Like it's still nice in a pair. It's definitely not supposed to be a testicle with penis. Then you have the too much gayness for one anus line. It's basically it says itself. If you're a gay person and you don't want to commit to a relationship, but you just want to fuck around, want to fuck other gay guys in the asshole, then this shirt is for you. It just says that you're too much gay, that you have too much gayness for one anus. Your gayness levels can't be contained by one anus. So yeah, then we have the one-man gangbang crew, which is basically kind of, let's say it's somewhat similar. It's if you're a guy that can basically has a sexual stamina to please a girl like she's been pleased by 5 guys at the same time. And if you want to lie and just to attract people, that you can also wear that. It just works the same way. If you know that you can't get laid anytime, you can also get the Born to Watch Porn shirt. That's definitely also a thing you could do. If you just fucking love porn or something. I mean, hey, I'm not judging. Porn is good and stuff. Anyway, I think we've gone through most of these things now. You can also get most of these things in different... It's not all shirts. Like, there's bedspreads and shit. If anyone wants to get that, that would be definitely silly. Like, it would be a bit crazy, yeah. And you can also get the original doggy style, because I don't think we've seen that one on here. The one I'm wearing, it's like the doggy style in like a type of brownish orange color. So yeah. We have a big variety of bullshit. Say it that way. Oh yeah, here you can see basically a bit of everything. Well, apart from this talking head shirt that somebody made there in the corner. You can see a bit of everything here. It's almost everything. And apart from that pink umbrella that's there. And then there's no more of my shirts when we go further down. But yeah, see, Redbubble has a lot of shit on it. A lot of different shit. So, feel free to come by and buy my shirts. Because the Gaytriarchy commands it. And there's a few new shirts being made. I'm making a 5-star porn star shirt. It basically shows there's like 5 stars on it in like a nice perspective. And then it says like, it has the 5 stars and then porn star written under it. So it works for both boys and girls. I was also thinking of making a cum dumpster shirt. I don't know if anyone would want to buy that shit, because I mean, that's a whole other level, isn't it? Calling yourself a cum dumpster. I mean, if you like it, yeah, I'm gonna make that fucking silly shit. Let's move on. So, Disney's gay agenda. How Disney is helping to normalize the gay character. The gay character?
The gay character.
The gay character. It just like makes it like there's one, like it just makes it sound like there's one stereotypically gay character. It's like it has to have a certain check marks and every gay character is the same. That's kind of what it sounds like if you read this shit. I don't Anyway, let's start reading this because it says funny words like eviler and gayness in it. Disney had a long, sometimes complicated history with using gay or effeminate characters in their movies. For a long time, gayness was a stereotype that they pushed onto villains to make them seem eviler. That's not even a word. Or used as a comic relief, as was the case with the original 1991 version of Le Fou.
Le Fou?
Le Fou means the nut, basically crazy. So, I mean, the character is basically named the wacko, basically. So that's kind of weird. But recent movies like Frozen and Zootopia have shown. Wait, what gay? Was there a gay character in Zootopia? I don't even remember that. Was there a gay character in Frozen?
What does it say? Did you read the rest of the sentence?
I don't know. Have shown that they're moving away from their poor track record of fairly representing the LGBT community. Was there representation of the LGBT community in any of these movies? I'm just kind of confused now. And while it may have been a somewhat cautious step in the right direction, the progression of LeFou's character from the original comic relief trope to the newer, more humanized version is important in the fight for fair representation of the LGBT community in the media, and shows that Disney is helping to repair their own broken track record with this issue. Yeah. I mean, I think I kind of misjudged the article. I think this is showing it as a positive thing. It's a good thing that we didn't really full on go to the conspiracy corner, because I don't think this works for the conspiracy fucking crap. Because this isn't really a conspiracy type thing from what I can see here.
No.
Yeah, the other ones have to do with some more conspiracy type shit, but yeah, anyway. When Disney was first starting out, they played around a lot with gender stereotypes, especially with a more effeminate male character. Animated shorts like Ferdinand, the Bull, and the Reluctant Dragon both featured male characters who didn't act in accordance with a typical masculine gender norm, but these characters were treated in a positive light. In the early days of film, even outside of animated movies, queer characters, those who were ambiguously portrayed as homosexuals or living outside gender norms, were seen as comedic. However, with the introduction of the Hays Code in 1930, these same characters were portrayed in a different light. So it's basically showing that there's a... It's talking about Disney, but then when you look at it, it's basically a more... It basically just looks like society moves along in a certain direction, regardless of what a lot of even influential fucking companies are doing. So it is kind of... It's kind of what you see in general, isn't it? Because now there's a lot of people who are pushing for certain things constantly, and they want to have society move a certain way. But I don't think pushing society a certain way, even no matter how hard you push it, is actually going to work in changing it. I'm not saying that's a good thing, but I'm just saying that that's just the way it is. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't stand up for what you believe in. So yeah, the Motion Pictures Production Code of 1930s, that was the Hays Code they said earlier, established guidelines that movies need to follow. These rules were made with the intent to make sure that that movies adhere to moral guidelines. I mean, that kind of feels to some... I mean, I get it's good intentions, but should there really be rules in art, like, or guidelines or some fucking codes? It's art. It should just be as free as possible. That's the only problem I have with this. Even though I get that it's good, I still feel like it's art and it should be free. These rules were made with the intent to make sure that movies adhere to moral guidelines, like we said, many of those dealing with sexual activity, sex, perversion, or any inference to it is forbidden. Wait, what does that even mean? Sex perversion or any inference to it is forbidden. Huh? Law natural or human shall not be ridiculed, nor shall sympathy be created for its violation. I don't get what they're actually meaning with that. That's a fucking bowl of alphabet soup to me. Until it was replaced with the MPAA rating system in 1968, the code governed the production of films and drastically changed the way that queer characters were presented. What was once portrayed as silly and funny was now cast in a more nefarious light. I mean, yeah, this... To me, that does make sense, but this is kind of weird. Like it moved forward from what we saw. Like before the 1930s, you had like the it's a gay person, haha, funny, or he's evil or whatever. It just made to look more evil. But doesn't that make sense when basically a fucking... Because this mostly seems to be focused on the American society, and I mean, if anything, America is still to this day so fucking Christian or whatever, like they're so fucking religious compared to a lot of other countries, or it's more prominently shown, like it's more prominent in their lives, their religion. So if you tell me that like before the 1930s there was more of a push for showing gay characters as evil, or even using characters, or even using the fact they're more effeminate, or that they act gay to make them look more evil. It makes sense because like a lot of fucking religious people see gays as evil. So yeah, I mean that makes sense. And it kind of, what kind of surprises me is that with those the after that, those laws got somehow pushed at the period in the 1930s. It seems. I don't know much about an American society, but so I wouldn't know if American society in the 1930s had some kind of like push towards like normalizing like homosexuality among other things. So I can't really say anything about that. But then again, now it says in the 1950s, PSAs were shown in schools warning young boys of the homosexual predator. Boys Beware, intended to be an educational film, claimed that gay men preyed on young boys in public restrooms and public parks. What? Can you imagine? What? That's what. Can you imagine if that's the thing that people think? What do gay people do? Well, they hang around at toilets all day, at public toilets and at parks to molest kids. Can you imagine if somebody that actually is the way someone sees gay people? That's just fucking weird. Anyway, he may appear normal, and it may be too late when you discover he's mentally ill. Yeah, this also makes it the fact that it considers fucking homosexuality as a mental illness. Yeah, some weird shit.
Also,
Is it?
it also makes it sound like when people are mentally ill that they're automatically bad people.
Yeah, and if it definitely doesn't mean that. Like, how the fuck would everyone who has a mental illness be fucking evil all of a sudden? Or there should be anything wrong with them? I mean, we should try to help people with a mental illness rather than just label them as being like, oh, this person's mentally ill or mentally unstable and this blah blah blah. So that's some bullshit as well. Then again, like, how the fuck can you label homosexuality a mental illness while there's like shit like religion at the same time, and you find that normal and that's your fucking way of life? It's like, hey, I'm deeply religious. I believe in something I haven't seen or haven't seen any fucking evidence for. And I believe that this fucking very complex being, like before there was anything, there was this complex being that just somehow came.
If you have seen evidence of it, by the way, you probably hallucinated, so you're probably mentally ill in some way.
Yeah, if you have seen evidence for it, well, if you have seen evidence for it, like because people just put evidence, just take the weirdest things to be evidence. They like go for like, oh, this world is made perfectly for me. It fits me so well. Wow, so it must be made for me. There's no way that I could have over time adapted to this world. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. That's not more plausible that this world that is actually somewhat inhospitable in some ways, that I as a or like with like the line of beings that I descend from has over time adapted to this by basically dying off if we didn't fucking fit it. Yeah, I mean, I don't get how you can believe that something was just randomly made because it fits you so well and then don't see that. I don't know, it's just silly. Disney, perhaps somewhat surprisingly, was one of those films. The main antagonist, Captain Hook, was modeled to reflect the homosexual predators in Boys Beware. Really? Was he though? He looks like he's wearing a powdered wig and one of those puffy scarves. His effeminate ways don't make me think about the effeminate, rapey homosexual stereotype from the 1950s that they put out in things like Boys Beware. He looks more like like King Louis the 14th or something. Like those, because they always look fucking effeminate when you see them. Yeah. Have you seen the portrait of Louis XIV? He looks effeminate. This is more what Captain Hook reflects, doesn't it? It's more of that cocky. Definitely this doesn't make me think about Boys Beware. This is just some fucking link that's drawn that doesn't make any fucking sense. This is where the article it had good intentions and it kind of fucking lost me there, because it definitely just makes me think about that like Louis XIV or something like that. That's basically the level of effeminate that he has. And also, he's a very threatening character as well, and he can handle his sword and shit. It's not like he's like full on effeminate, so I don't get it. By the way, the supposed gay people, or the people that, let's say the people that played pedophiles that were supposedly gay people, because that's how they saw gay people back then. Those people didn't really act effeminate to begin with. They were actually they were just regularly masculine, weren't they? It's a fucking weird thing. He has pink trousers and a matching hat topped with a large over-exaggerated feather. But let's be honest, Disney is just colorful anyway. And I don't know if I would call his hat...
It's not pink, what the fuck is wrong with you?
That's purple.
The fuck?
No, it's not
That's
purple.
dark red.
It's a type of red with it's going towards like a pinkish. It's
it's dark red or something.
Yeah, but it has a bit of a colory tinge to it. It's a bit different. It's a very desaturated color as well. It's not even like the bright pink or some shit.
Sure, if his fucking hat and his trousers are pink, then his hair is blonde.
Yeah, but don't you see Smee's hat? It's like blue or something.
What? Smee's hat?
That was my joke. Fucking hell, it was a bad joke, but hey.
You know what? Smee's nose is pink. That's pink.
Yeah, his nose is definitely pink. He speaks with a littling English accent. Not to mention he's constantly yelling for his right-hand man, Smee. Everything you're saying just makes him sound more like the effeminate rich person, basically. Okay, he has a bit of like...
Yeah, you know, everything that he's saying, you know... I rewatched a really old thing yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Because it made me curious after we went to Disneyland.
Yeah.
I rewatched like Robin Hood.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And like the main antagonist there, like the prince. He's also always he talks in a weird English accent, and always calls out for like the snake who's always with him.
Yeah, it's basically the weird thing is with Disney seems to antagonize rich people more than anything else, because okay, it's Neverland basically, so it wouldn't be the same as being like in the regular world, so it wouldn't be the same as being rich over here, but he does, like Captain Hook. When you look at him, if you would say what does he stereotype, I would say it's more of a stereotype of a rich person than a stereotype of a effeminate gay person. So I don't even know what it's where they draw that comparison from. So yeah, anyway, from what I can see, blah blah blah. There's a song here. The crew dances and twirls with each other's around the ship. The men could have easily been portrayed as brutish, masculine pirates, but Disney's direction chose them to be them to flamboyantly twirl on walls. But it's also Disney. Disney doesn't really... How often do you actually have... It doesn't want to fucking scare kids off constantly as well. Doesn't it? How often does it show an antagonist that's like really like really fucking horrible? Like the only horrible thing, and I think he's a Disney character as well. Like the fucking wasn't the Hunchback of the Notre Dame? Isn't that a Disney movie as well?
Yeah.
And the fucking preacher guy there, Frollo, he's one of the only people that's actually like really comes across as really threatening. Like somebody is like fucking hell. He looks like he's a horrible asshole. But apart from it, like when you see like the other antagonists are like, yeah, they're bad, I guess. They're just doing some selfish shit. But it's not like they're ever like, they look like really rough and like they're gonna fucking fist your butthole or some shit. That just I don't see it here. They're just basically some shit to me. Anyway, another character portrayed as both evil and gay was Ursula, I guess. Even though, didn't she want to fuck the prince or some shit?
Yeah.
She was based off of the real life drag queen Divine. Okay, I could kind of see the similarities. There's the same makeup and kind of have the same hair.
To be fair, she fucking looks like she could be a Disney villain.
Yeah.
Maybe if she didn't want to, maybe if she didn't look that weird to the Disney villainy, she wouldn't have made it into Ursula.
Yeah, it's the same thing. They said like the character like dressed as a dandy or some shit. That's the thing, but it's also subconsciously associated with gay man. I do associate that type of shit more with fucking with rich people. I mean, why is there a stereotype of gay people being fabulous or nicely dressed? There's a shitload of gay people who have a shit fashion sense. I don't even get the majority of fucking gay people have a shit fashion sense. I've seen a lot of people that are gay that just wear some regular boring old shit that aren't like looking fabulous or aren't looking like, wow, this person knows how to dress. A lot of times like, yeah, so I don't get the association between the like a dandy style of getting dressing up and gay people, so it's kind of fucking weird. Yeah. They have the Ratigan of the Great Mouse Detectives. They have some more shit. Governor Ratcliffe from Pocahontas. Frollo from the Hunchback of Notre Dame. He fought Frollo from the... He wanted to fuck the fucking Esmeralda. That's basically what that character was. Frollo was a fucking devout Christian that was like fighting his own, like projecting. He was devout Christian, so he didn't wanna really. At one point, he didn't wanna fuck Esmeralda, but you see that he wanted. That he was lusting for her, but he turned that into like hatred for her, basically. So, how can you call that a gay character? Because he's basically a fucking Christian that wants to. It's the same as like a Christian that wants to, that's gay and that's like hates himself for being gay and then it's like outwardly very hateful towards gay people. This is a Christian that has a lust for like a for Esmeralda, that the female character, female main character, and that hates her because she makes him feel those feelings. So yeah, how is that a fucking gay character? This thing is just this article is just making this is what's so funny about all these people that want to be like politically correct. They just basically stereotype so much.
Yeah.
It's making. I can't believe this. How the fuck is everyone that's somewhat suave is gay somehow. They see it as gay and they say it like, oh, and then it's portrayed as villainous, but also as gay. So it's, and they have, what the fuck is this shit? It just, this article kind of lost me.
How the fuck is Jafar gay?
Yeah, I didn't see anything fucking gay about Jafar anyway as well.
Shere Khan from Jungle Book. What the fuck?
Yeah, he was definitely fucking shit up the ass. I saw that.
Hades from Hercules. Scar from The Lion King. Why Scar? Because he has a weird accent? And that's gay?
Yeah, apparently.
speech. See, it says speech and personality.
Oh yeah, the fucking crab from 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 Moana. Why? Because it was sparkly and because it had like gold on its back. How the fuck does that make it?
That's more rich thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It seems like Disney has more of like antagonizing the rich.
Hey, you see those gang members flashing their gold chains and shit? They look fucking gay.
So, so does it mean that like because you can see that sometimes? I mean, the same
Hey.
stereotype that.
Hey, you see that pimp in typical pimp clothing? It's also
Looks
gay.
fucking gay. Yeah, definitely. Anyway, this article it just goes on and probably just doesn't make a good point here. From, I just can't see anything. It just completely lost me, and I don't really want to continue reading this because we got to a point in the beginning it was kind of boring, and then we got to a point where we saw shit that we kind of disagreed with because it's like overly stereotyping gay people and doing so in defense of gay people or something. It's just fucking weird shit. See, I don't really
Yeah.
have a big giant point with a big problem with stereotyping because to some degree everyone does that. Stereotypes are basically a placeholder for actual experience, I would say. If you see a person, at first you will see some things that will invoke in you some stereotypes to assume some things about them. And to some degree, I would say like it's best to kind of suppress the urge to judge the things that you assess from seeing someone the first time and assuming things about them. But but stereotypes are there so that there's some fucking way of repairing. Like otherwise, you're like, "Hi, I'm," and then you won't assume anything and you won't have anything to talk about. I mean, you have to make some assumptions and have to try test some things out and buzz some things off of people when you're meeting them. You can't have well, otherwise you have non-conversations. Otherwise, it's like, yeah, it's nice weather, right? Yes, it's nice and not warm. It's like in between. Do you like that? I mean, then you have to have meaningless shit. And you have to have some shit to talk about, don't you?
Mhm.
And I mean, stereotypes are a bit of a support there, but they can also be somewhat protective, I guess. If it's like, oh, this neighborhood looks crummy, I best go around it. I mean, chances are that you may get raped or may get your shit stolen in that neighborhood. I mean, it's not always bad to assume something. It's not always bad to have a bit of a stereotype there. It's just bad to hold on to stereotypes in the face of like new evidence. If you have a stereotype about a certain group of people or something, and you meet someone, chances are they're gonna prove those stereotypes wrong, and you're gonna be like, yeah, this don't apply to this person, and it may apply less to this group of people than I thought, but there still has to be a basis for this shit. Maybe that basis is outdated by now. Maybe this stereotype that a group of people believe in about another group of people has been outdated and has been part of like a previous iteration of society or whatever. But yeah, it's just people just want to. I don't know. They want to pretend that they're woke and they want to pretend that they're helping and being an ally to other groups of people. Blah blah blah. But they're basically just doing the same thing other people are doing. People that aren't like consciously helping or aren't consciously being assholes to a group of people. I feel like a lot of people trying to help people aren't really doing shit. That's basically what I want to say that this amounts to.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? If somebody's like, yeah, I want to fight for your right to be able to do this bullshit, and if you're not, I don't care about that bullshit, and it doesn't really matter, does it? So it's like, ultimately, it's up to the people to decide. Like you, if somebody wants to support what you stand for, that's good, but don't fill in what people want. Don't fill in what you think people need because it's something you need. It's just kind of weird. Let's move on to the shit. Let's we have some fucking conspiracy theories here, and that means that actually I'll show this crap first. It's definite crap. Here it is. Conspiracy crap. That's the name of this thing. It's, by the way, it's part of the fake news logo that's on the shirt. So if you like this design, get the fake news shirt. What's wrong with you people?
Hey,
Anyway.
I thought you deleted that one.
Delete. I deleted what?
The article that's on screen now. For me. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, it says something about there's some conspiracy theories in here as well, so let's see. So there's a myth of his body being cryogenically frozen somewhere on the grounds of Disneyland. Is it just me, or does that Disneyland thing, that entrance, look the same as the Paris one? Anyway, this is probably the most famous of all myths surrounding Walt Disney, though some believe his whole body is frozen and others believe it's just his head. The story goes that after his death in 1966, Disney was cryogenically frozen until the day reanimation was possible. He had a private funeral, and the lack of public information has been the perfect breeding ground for conspiracy theories.
Oh.
However, this is not true. Disney was cremated after dying from lung cancer, and his ashes are interred in Glendale. You can actually find his memorial. His daughter stated, "There's absolutely no truth to the rumor that my father, Walt Disney, wished to be frozen. You should let it go." Anyway, the other myth. He created Mickey Mouse himself, but fucking hell, can you see how much Mickey Mouse has changed over time if you look at this? Damn. It's completely differently drawn. It's like the base idea is the same, but proportions have changed of the ears and the head and the nose. Just so much has changed about it. Anyway, Walt Disney and Mickey Mouse are synonymous. What the fuck did I say? Synonymous at this point, but he wasn't the one to come up with the character. Eworks, a lesser-known figure in Disney lore, did. After losing the rights to Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, Disney's first creation, Disney asked Eworks to come up with a new character, and Mickey Mouse was born. Over the year, Eworks felt he wasn't getting enough credit for his creation, left Disney, and eventually came back, but he refused to work in animation again. Yeah, I've heard that story as well. I think I don't know what he actually did after that, but he did have another crucial role in Disney after he came back. But I don't remember what it actually was. I think I said it on Drunk History. The whole thing with the guy with Eworks leaving and then coming back.
What the hell is
Drunk History is a show that has like a guy talking about a story from history and then they show like scenes from it.
He's just wanking.
Yeah. Wanking. Anyway, didn't you also read something about that Walt Disney was afraid of mice? Was that a joke or was it an actual thing?
That was a
Fake fact.
I didn't know.
That was like an unproven thing?
But yeah, they can't prove that he was scared of mice. But he originally called
The mouse Mortimer?
Mortimer, but then his wife told him to change it to Mickey because that made more sense.
She wanted to take the Mickey out of him.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
Debugged.
myth. He lives on as a bust in Disneyland's Haunted Mansion ride. While this would be such a good Easter egg, sadly, Walt Disney did not appear in the ride at all. In fact, he died before the ride was ever completed. I mean, kind of still possible. Like, he died before the ride was ever completed. I mean, don't they have pictures of him? Aren't there people who can make the bust from a fucking picture? So how does that even how does in fact he died before the rite was ever completed stack up as any type of evidence for anything? It's just an irrelevant thing to say. Just fucking doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I believe it. It says it's not a thing there. It would be cool if they did. Like, why not do it now? Now that's like a thing that people say it's actually there. Why not just make it? Fucking hell, Disney. You don't get Disney doesn't get the internet at all. Otherwise, they would have done it. Myth. He was born in Robinson, Illinois. A reporter from Robinson, Illinois claimed that Walt Disney had been born in his town. However, Walt Disney's official biography states that he was born in Chicago, as does every other piece of writing about him. Well, it's still the same state, so... Fuck it. Myth. He left video instructions telling Disney executives what to do after he died. Like, I mean, how long would you have to make your instructions if a company lives on for this long? It would be fucking hilarious. As someone super interested in the future, this actually does seem like something he might do, but this is zero evidence of this being the case.
Zero.
I mean, in his own branch, basically, when you talk about animation and videos, I feel like it would make sense. He seems like somebody who is future-minded, I guess, from that. But then again, he died in 1966 from lung cancer, and his death was relatively sudden and unexpected. Is there a moth or anything? Fucking hell. I'm just gonna continue reading anyway. When he died, Disney World was in the process of being built, and Disney's brother Roy decided to put off retirement so he could personally watch over construction. So he didn't even... Actually, Walt Disney didn't even live to see the park being built. Huh. The brand was almost bought out in 1980s because the stock fell, and many of the movies during this era dubbed the Bronze Age in Disney movie canon didn't do as well in the box office. It took until the 90s for Disney to get its groove back, which is now known as the Disney Renaissance. So Disney probably did not leave behind explicit instructions on next steps after his death. Yeah. That was a crazy one. I mean, they did have some shitty movies, like for example the Black Cauldron wasn't really a movie that was apparently well received. I think everyone just hated Gurgi because it sounded like shit.
Gurgi could go fucking die in a gutter.
But Gurgi does sacrifice himself at the end. And he's like, I'm Gurgi.
You sound like Phileas.
Yes.
Is that like
Gurgi sounds like fucking Phileas. Yeah. Anyway.
But
So.
Phileas is more like.
Looks more like a dog.
More cute.
Yeah. Anyway. Myth. Oh yeah, there weren't any Gurgi plushies in Disneyland.
I'm so glad.
Well, the belief that Disney was anti-Semitic is so widespread that it's been addressed in pop culture, including being spoofed in Family Guy and in comments made by Meryl Streep in 2014. However, that has not been proven. I mean, again, didn't we see the Donald Duck thing that basically made fun of Nazis? I mean, if it was an anti-Semite, wouldn't he... I don't know, it's just kind of weird. In Walt Disney, The Triumph of the American Imagination, a biography written about Disney, the author Neil Gabler states that of the Jews who worked at Disney, it was hard to find any who thought Walt was an anti-Semite. That said, the organization he was a founding member of, the Motion Picture Alliance, allegedly had many... What the fuck was that?
That's my nose.
Privately anti-Semitic members. Well, is that like guilty by association or some shit? Like, yeah, like the Jewish people who work for him didn't really see him as an anti-Semite. There weren't any who thought of him that way. But then again, he had some people in the Motion Picture Alliance, like which he was like fucking member of, that were privately anti-Semites. So like, Okay, well, maybe you didn't even know it about them, to be honest. And, like, how fucking... Even if it's, like, a group of people in the same fucking job sphere, how fucking close is your relationship gonna be with them? How much is their personal belief gonna affect yours? I wouldn't think as much. So this is just stupid and silly again. So while there's no proof Disney himself was anti-Semitic, some argue that that he was complicated based on the company he kept. I mean, it's just kind of stupid. Like, obviously you're gonna have people you disagree with. Maybe at one point in history, like, fucking, let's be honest. Jesus, he died in 1966. It was a different time as well. So if there were probably more anti-Semites around at that point. So it was more of like, it was probably seen as less of like, if somebody was an anti-Semite, it wouldn't be seen as now. And now it's like, now people instantly definitely hate someone who's like, oh, I just hate people just because they're Jews. If somebody would like that, like, other people would be like, yeah, fuck you, asshole. But maybe at that time it was like more of a widespread, more mainstream way of seeing things, and then other people kind of dealt with that, even if they fucking disagreed with it. It's like, okay, this dude's an anti-Semite. I don't fucking think that's I don't fucking share his beliefs, but hey, I'll talk to him about some other shit. I mean, the people you involve yourself with don't always like fucking have an effect on what you do, does it? Especially if it's just like job related shit. So there was also a fucking bit that he left money in his will for the first man who managed to get pregnant. Well, that's hard to actually... I mean, there's probably a lot of men that are pregnant now with there being more gender reconstructive surgery, and was there like fucking female to male transgender that was pregnant and then would have well, at that point, his operation for the genitals to be replaced after the birth at one point. I think I read a story about that, so I think that's... I mean, if this was true, then Disney would have to pay up by this point. This might be the most random urban legend on his list. It's unclear why or where this rumor began, but it's persistent. I mean, it's probably random because we don't really see the connection with it. There's probably some connection where this comes from. Nothing is actually like random. Because I've heard people complain about, oh, this humor, like if somebody makes a joke, it's random. Oh, this joke's too random. Maybe there's a connection for this person that you can't see between joke and what is said and what is meant and how it's meant. Maybe this just completely different interpretation, but there must be something that caused this to be a myth. So... his will is public record. He left 45% of his estate to his wife and 45% to the Disney Foundation. At least 10% to be divided among his nieces, nephews, and sister. So, yeah, well, if it's already... if it's in his will... If there's a public fucking... If his will is a public record, what does this urban legend still has? What leg does it have to stand on? Why is it still a myth that people believe then? Because they don't check this shit. So, and there was another one. He was born out of wedlock in Spain, so that's definitely another one again. The story stems from the discredited biography Walt Disney, Hollywood's Dark Prince. The theory is that Disney was born out of wedlock in southern Spain to a woman named Isabel Zamora. The book also claims that he was born in 1890 and later adopted by the Disneys. Again, Disney was born in Chicago to Elias and Flora Disney, and no evidence exists to support his illegitimate... what the fuck are you doing? Illegitimate birth in Spain. Sorry. Got distracted by Perry. Damn you, Perry.
Sorry.
Damn you to hell.
I just walked into the alcohol cabinet.
You walked into the alcohol cabinet? Did you get drunk?
What did I miss?
No,
Barry
I
walked into the
opened
alcohol
door.
cabinet.
I opened the door
Yeah.
You missed a lot of shit, by the way, but yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't
Yeah, well,
stop
I
because it
was. Yeah, I was just trying to
get rid
catch.
of a wasp or something, or was there a moth,
No, no, it was
a mosquito?
a big
Yeah,
Whoa,
mosquitoes there.
grasshopper, or whatever.
whoa! There was a huge grasshopper in there.
Yeah,
Jeez.
I
Okay.
got bitten by mosquitoes there.
Yeah, there's mosquitoes. There's
I
mosquitoes
wanna go to
everywhere.
Paris.
The Disney logo is well, the Disney logo is his handwriting. That's the other myth. Disney logo is a cultural touchstone. It is called a waltograph, and many believe it's Disney's handwriting, but unfortunately, this is false. While it's difficult to find out what Disney's signature actually looked like, there were a lot of people authorized to sign his name. The logo that we recognize as a Disney logo, in fact, didn't exist until well after his death, and it first appeared in 1984. Basically, it's a stylized version of his signature, but not an exact copy. So they did take elements from his signature, if I'm correct, then, and
yeah,
made
that's what it sounds like.
the logo itself. Yeah, that's pretty cool, definitely. Um, if I'm correct, that's like 18 years after his death. So that's definitely somewhat later, isn't it? So yeah, that's were some interesting uh myths. Not full on. Well, there were some conspiracy theories in this, but it's more like the light stuff. Now let's go delve deeper into the head business. Let's get some heads with Frozen. Conspiracy theory: was Frozen a cover up for Walt Disney's dismembered head?
Wait, what?
Well,
Wait, well, that's an actual thing, people.
the article that it's on a website called High Times, so the people who thought of this must have been going through some high times, I guess. Then
Yeah,
Oh, I just
and
remember what happened in Paris. That's hilarious.
my mouse
Yeah,
automatic
Frozen.
like it was waiting on where the menu showed grow, and then out of grow there's like different kinds of articles. Oh fuck, which says free wheat harvest tips,
oh
how
yeah,
to
there's
feed your trichomes 5 free wheat proper cultivation techniques, free
yeah.
wheat ideal grow room, not showroom.
So this is a pro drugs news site that we found here somehow. Okay, here's a conspiracy theory that might blow your brain into 1,000 different pieces. The
What the
movie
fuck is
Frozen
this?
was made to keep people from finding out the truth about Walt Disney's freezing, about Walt Disney freezing himself.
The fuck is this though? We have latest cooking, how to make chill cannabis chili.
Probably free confirmed.
Fucking hell.
Anyway,
Okay, this is going to take some explaining, so bear with me as I rock and roll your face off. It all starts with the man himself, Walt Disney, Walter Elias Disney. Are you ready to walk with Elias?
Oh, fuck. I was literally about to say that.
He was born in December 5, 1901. He was a shy man whose public persona differed from his true personality. I mean, isn't that what happens a lot with artists? Isn't that a lot? See, he was a shy man whose public persona differed from his true personality. See, this is basically the argument I always use when people say like, "Oh, you can't separate the art from the artist." Well, you can even separate the artist from the person, because when somebody becomes is an artist when he's on stage, how often is somebody playing themselves? They're always playing a role. A lot of times, either they're playing someone they want to be, or if they want to make them or they're playing someone they don't want to be, someone they hate or something. If it's like, if somebody makes an anti-war song by being like a horrible general that enjoys killing people and causing suffering, then at that point somebody's playing that role. So separating the artist from the art may not be possible, but separating the person from the artist is already pretty easy, fucking, isn't it? He was quite quiet and somewhat self deprecating. So basically, he was a shy, quiet person that was also very hard on himself, I would guess. Despite rumors of racism and anti-Semitism, those close to him say otherwise. But this isn't a lesson on race or gender or any of the baggage that follows the massive Disney corporation. This is a story about the man himself and the rumor that just won't die. Not even if you freeze it. Cryogenics. Let's get right to the good stuff. There's this rumor that's been circulating since before Disney's death.
What?
Way before the invention of the internet. Supposedly Walt Disney grew so obsessed with the idea of cryogenic freezing that he requested his body be frozen after his death. Awesome. But that's only one half. That's only one half of the story?
It says that's only half the story. There's
only half.
It doesn't say one.
Sorry. The second half comes courtesy of where else? Reddit. Dum dum dum.
So not 4chan.
Which posits that the movie Frozen was released purely to detract the public from looking up information on the cryogenic rumor, because what do you get when you Google Disney Frozen? Pages upon pages of information on the movie Frozen. It's a good cover-up, isn't it? See?
Yeah. Well,
You make a movie called Frozen, and now if you look up Disney Frozen, you can't find Walt Disney Frozen because you only find Frozen. It's too hard to put Walt in front of it. So. Let's look that up right now. Let's see. If we do Walt Disney Frozen? Stupid wordy. Is there...
Fact check. Was Walt Disney frozen? Was Walt Disney's body really cryogenically frozen after he died? No,
Well-
Walt Disney isn't cryogenically frozen. Disney made Frozen just to hide an urban legend.
Yeah, that sounds like the article. So yeah, if you do Disney Frozen, okay, then you're gonna find the movie. But this isn't a good cover-up then. You just have to put Walt in front of it. That's not even a hard step. You just have to type some additional fucking letters. Like 4 of them. It's not even hard. And a space. Don't forget the space. To get to the bottom of the mystery, we sought out answers from search engine experts.
Well, to be fair,
Disney employee.
if you look up Disney Frozen, still on the first page you find new Disney conspiracy theory suggests Frozen is a cover-up.
It's not a good cover-up then if that's on the front page. So yeah, if you can, I can tell you as a tour guide, that was one of the most frequent questions, says Mikey Jacobs. It's good that he isn't called Mickey Jacobs. Or is he called Mickey?
Probably Mikey.
Oh, I'm Mickey. Oh, hello, I'm Mickey Jacobs. Oh. Okay. As a 26-year veteran Disney employee, when we asked him if he'd heard the rumor about Walt Disney being frozen, that, and if we got Coca-Cola for free, as long as we use Disney cups. They don't. The rumor was started in part by a massively popular book, The Prospect of Immortality, which was published shortly after Disney's death by author Robert C.W. Ethinger. Theorized that humans could be frozen in suspended animation and could be brought back to life years later. So, another thing I want to take away, has nothing to do with this, but if you ever name your kids, just give them 2 middle names, that if they ever become a writer or something, that they can put like their fucking initials there. It just makes you look more legitimate as an author, doesn't it? I think there's
Robert C.W. Ettinger.
I think there was even a research done that people would be more inclined, like they did that shit, like it's the same book, and they had like focus groups that they used, and they put like a book by John Smith or something, and then by John W. D. Smith or something, and people liked the book by John W. D. Smith more, even though it was the same fucking book. I did some of those researches showing that there is something subconsciously. So if you want your kid to be an author, just give them fucking extra initials, whatever. So he wrote, "We already have our arrangement for cryostasis after clinical death. Signed our contracts with existing organizations and allowed for the money. We will have our chance. And with a little bit of luck, will taste the wine of centuries unborn. Unfortunately, the whole story is false. Disney was cremated, and its ashes were spread in Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Glendale, California, says Jacobs. But yeah, it was very commonplace. A very common question. The question was commonplace then, I guess. During his nearly 3 decades of Disney World, Jacobs learned the secrets of the park, including the little things that Disney overlords don't want you to see. The phallic symbols across the park, affectionately known as Dickies, the spot Playboy named the best place to get laid, and the section of Epcot that's 100% acoustically perfect. No truth to the Disney rumor, however. So there is Dickies around Disneyland. That's good. They should make it a thing. Because they said, like, when we were in line waiting for the fucking roller coaster, there was something about, in America, there's something called Secret Mickey or Hidden Mickeys or something, apparently. I heard from the person that was standing behind us. Something you can collect or some shit. I should make that a thing, Secret Dickies, where you just get the Dickies and you can find them at the Dickie locations. And you can buy the Dickies there. And you must collect all the Dickies in Disney Park. That would be great.
Wow.
I would go on that scavenging hunt to collect all the penises, because I'm the penis master. A marketing strategy. The idea of Disney releasing Frozen as a red herring to deter cryogenic freezing rumors is brilliant. Just how brilliant, you ask? We had a chat with Minneapolis-based digital marketing agency Snap to get the scoop on whether or not the bizarre strategy could actually work. If this person says yes, then it's pretty stupid. But the person says in a sense yes, so it's a bit of a strategical answer, I guess. A bit of a lazy answer. Says Director of Search Abby Herman. This type of strategy would have a strong impact on short tail keywords like Walt Disney Frozen. That's the one we looked up. Short tail keywords are characterized by their high search volume and are 1 to 3 words long. Much of SEO, search engine optimization, however, is built around long tail keywords. These have much lower search volume and are about 4 words long. They're more detailed, which makes them easier to rank for, and typically they have higher conversion rates. Herman and the president of Snap, Spencer Baldwin, agree that the tactic of releasing Frozen to deter fans would have been brilliant and incredibly lucrative. Not only would Disney have found a way to push a pesky conspiracy theory out of search results, Baldwin says, they would have a way to make 1.276 billion at the box office as well. And that's not accounting for any merchandise or additional sales, which are fucking still going on, because you can still... Any fucking Disney princess or every Disney merchandise, whatever the fucking movie is, apart from like Black Cauldron and shit, which never was popular, you can also still buy merchandise for it, so all of these properties are still making money. If you don't believe the pair, try searching for Walt Disney Frozen on Google and keep track of how long it takes to get to a page about cryogenics. Immediately. Because of stuff like this article popping up, I guess. Regardless of whether or not Disney pays any attention to this highly entertaining Frozen rumor, it's fun to think that there's more to seemingly innocuous movies than meets the eye. With the public infatuation of Walt Disney's dark side propelling rumors into the limelight time and time again, it's totally crazy to think that the red herring Frozen theory is far from the truth. That Disney pays snobs to label these fake rumors false? Is Walt Disney actually D.B. Cooper? Is Hitler's brain hidden inside Splash Mountain? Who knows? Jesus, they took a bit of a deep talk there. They got fucking stoned out of their minds and they started running out the first things that came to them. Shit. This is why they just got insane. And then the guy from the other guy, like the fucking editor, was like, whoa, that's a bit too high. Stop, man. Anyway, that was kind of an entertaining article because it was fucking funny. It was silly as fuck. So I enjoyed it for those reasons. There's one last thing we're gonna do.
Okay, because I'm actually really tired.
Yeah, but this one is just gonna be really short, and we really need to turn off well, really need to make sure that people can't see. Whoa. Yeah, there it is. Anyway, it's called Rule 34, where you basically describe what you can find on Rule 34 to some degree and how horrible it is. So yeah, let's go to Rule 34, the website that everyone loves. And in case people don't know what Rule 34 is, how are you even on the internet? What the fuck are you doing here? Anyway, Rule 34 explains that if it exists, there's porn of it. So at first I wanted to call this segment "Does It Exist?" Anyway, so what happens if you decide to look up Disney? You get 37,142 results, and you probably don't want to see them.
Oh.
Okay. So
I clicked search.
yeah, I'm glad we're not sharing screens on the thing because we would have got insta banned from YouTube, I guess. So is it like random princesses fucking or some shit? I don't even know anyone with blue hair or some shit, so I don't know what the fuck that is.
Oh no way.
That's fucking Lion King porn. Fucking Simba fucking Nala up the ass or some shit. What the fuck is all this? It's even incest. Well, if you could call it incest, it's basically like Anna and Elsa basically hugging.
Make it.
A lot of furry shit from what I can see. I think a lot of people who look up Disney porn or want to make Disney porn, I guess, are furries then. That's what I'm assuming from this. Because to me this is almost like a 50% furry shit. It's here.
That's Zootopia.
Yeah, there's a lot of Zootopia and like Lion King and shit. So that's basically why I'm saying there's too much furry shit. Too much furry shit. Abort. So yeah,
those people.
That one just looks hilarious. It puts a smile on my face. It's basically Stitch. He just fucking had an orgasm, so he has like a weird face. He's like, ah. It's like jizz hanging on everything. It's funny. It's just hilarious. It's nothing. Even though it's sexual in nature, it's just more of a hilarious thing. I wouldn't really call it like a sexual thing. It's more like,
Jesus,
that's
what
funny.
page are you on already?
3 because I skipped all the furry shit. All the furry shit. There's too much furry shit. Why?
Yeah, there's a wow. Especially page 2. Hey, is that Pocahontas? Yep, yep, it is.
I gotta be honest, I didn't expect this. So, people who apparently make Disney porn drawings, whatever, are obsessed with fucking furries. A lot of them, it seems. Because I hardly see any fucking actual Disney princesses or anything like that. Even like a movie as popular as Frozen, I don't see much of that. It's mostly like, hey, it's Simba and fucking Zootopia characters and fucking. I haven't seen Mickey Mouse. That's a confusing one, isn't it? I would think like not because if you look at Rule 34, there's two things. Not everything is like, oh, this is wank material. Some of it is just like sexual, haha, this is funny, type of thing. So
yeah.
Anything sexual involving Mickey Mouse would never be actually like, oh, this is hot. It would mostly be funny as fuck. But I don't see much of that.
I'm gonna look up Mickey Mouse.
This is more like actual people's fucking furry fetishes that I can see here, mostly. I found Mickey Mouse there. Yeah, by himself as well. He's just like there with his dick hanging out, basically. That's, okay, that's apparently a thing. He has like a rape face.
What? I only found one picture when I look up Mickey Mouse.
That's weird. That's fucking weird. Anyway, too much furry shit. That's all I'm gonna say. It's still the same. Too much fucking furry shit. So yeah, that's ended at that. So if you want your fucking Disney porn, be a bit specific about it, I guess. Unless you're a furry, then you can just look up Disney and then you'll find your furry shit there and just enjoy your wank. If you want to see some Disney princesses or something like that, just be specific about it, I guess, on Rule 34, because otherwise you're gonna get the fucking furry shit. The reason why we didn't go specific because I just wanted to look up the keyword Disney and see what I would say Disney fans most like frequent fetishes are, and apparently it's a lot of fetishizing the characters that they grew up with, and apparently for a lot of people that's like animal characters, so that's weird. It wasn't even just furry shit, it was also like actual fucking, it wasn't even all anthropomorphic shit, it was like all just like, there was just a lot of animals as well, like a dog jerking off or something. It's weird shit. Weird shit. So I think I need to make a shirt for furries, like, I like hairy
Weird
dick or
shit.
some shit. I don't even know. But that's where we can end this episode. This has gone crazy enough. We've found a lot to talk about. We did a topical episode for once. Talked about Disney the entire time through, so that was something. Maybe we'll do a topical one another time, but it's just the next few episodes are just gonna be the same old podcast. Maybe we're gonna find some segments, some new segments, something interesting. So yeah, we'll see what we do next time, and we'll catch you in that episode. Ball sex. I don't know what I actually said. Did I actually say ball sex? Like ball sack or ball sex? Like sex with your balls? I don't know how that would work. It's like penetrating someone with your balls, or is somebody fucking your balls? It doesn't even make any sense anyway.
I'm gonna leave.
Yeah, me too, before there's more of this weird shit.